Or
Listen, do you mind if I put my 2 cents in?
No, honey, I don't mind.
Call the police immediately.
I don't get it.
No idea what you're talking about. Yes? Hello? Hi, stranger.
I want ham and eggs and flapjacks with lots of butter and syrup and coffee. I'll take the coffee now.
Why have you come here tonight? Rain.
Where's my dough?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Vibes and Stuff Live in the Morning. It's your host, Chuck Allen, with your host, Uncle Freezy, coming to you live on Hump Day Wednesday,
Hump Day.
May 25th. Vibrant ones in the building. How are you doing this morning? Unc, how you doing this morning?
What's good with you, boss?
I'm full of energy.
Yeah, man. Gemma.
You know what'll do it to you? Waking up early in the morning and listening to a New Jack Swing mix.
Gemma.
I was in here about to break my neck trying to do some of them old dances that I ain't did in 30 years. Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, salute everybody. Salute. How y'all doing this morning? Chef NYK's in the building. Mr. Vince is in the building. What's good? Yeah, man.
Robert Pa. My guy.
Pa in the building. What's good? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's hit him with the rundown.
Oh, yeah, man. So Chuck.
Yes, sir.
See, wait for it, Chuck. Wait a minute.
Boom. Switched it up this morning. Got some Gatorade. What you got in your cup, Unc?
Folgers.
Folgers in his cup.
Yeah.
Yes,
Folgers, get away from my desk. Yeah, that's still hilarious to me. That
is the craziest insult ever. Because, just to hear it, you're like, what she talking about? Folgers? Oh.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro.
Okay. Mine's in the chat. There's someone in there putting down some things. Get them out of here.
Wait a minute. Is that a subscriber? Because I got him.
Okay. Robert Parr had some carrot and orange juice. And he put some mango nectar in it. That sounds pretty good. That sounds like that'll clean your system out real good.
Oh yeah, that sounds like having me pepper spraying people on the subway. Get him out of here.
Okay, so we're on the subway. This is, I want to say, about, I've been in Brooklyn now for 12 years, so this is about 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I was going to the movie theater. At that time, Chuck couldn't walk that good.
Okay.
Actually, Chuck was still like really literally taking baby steps.
Okay.
But this particular day, I decided I wanted to go to the movie theater. And anyone who knows about accessorized transportation is where they pick up people with elderly or disability if you're part of their
Right.
program.
Right.
Now you have to call them a day in advance.
Okay.
And this was a spur of the moment thing. So I was like, you know what? Let's take the train.
Okay.
Already a bad idea because I told you I'm taking baby steps, and the
Right.
train station is like 4 blocks away from my house.
Okay.
Finally get on the train. I'm poured down in sweat.
Drenched.
I mean, drenched. I
Yeah.
almost want to go home, but I say, you know what? Made it this far. Let's go. I'll take a cab home.
Right.
We're on the train. It's in the morning because I'm going to the matinee, so it's like 11 something. Lady gets on the train. She looks like she's maybe Russian or East European, something like that. And I'm making that assumption because where we picked her up was 63rd Drive, and that's usually Ukrainian, Russian,
Armenian.
yes,
Somewhere in there.
right.
Yeah.
That's their
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's their neighborhood. And so she gets on, but she's mad, like nervous. Like and so I'm assuming she's from her country. Like she came over here, like she hadn't been here that long. She just came over here,
Like
right?
she's not of that descent. She actually was born there.
Yes,
Okay.
right. So, the trans movement is not where it was then, where it is today. Then it
Right.
wasn't the same, right? So
Okay.
this guy this trans person gets on the train looking like a guy but in a dress, right? He ain't bothering nobody. He looking at the subway map. And then he started asking people how to get to he's trying to get to the courthouse off of Union Turnpike, the Queens County Courthouse.
Okay.
And he went to ask the lady. You know the lady pepper sprayed him?
Get out of here.
Yes.
Was he black?
No. He was a huge white dude. He was huge. Like he could have definitely been like 6'4" or better. Like he was a big dude. He was a big dude.
Wow.
And yeah, because she was nervous. All right, so she pepper sprayed him, right?
Okay.
They stopped the train in the tunnel.
In the tunnel?
Yes. In the tunnel. So you can imagine she only sprayed like man, when I tell you that thing took over the car.
Yes.
Man, I had snot dripping out my nose. My eyes was all watery. And I was like, yo, what in the world kind of pepper spray is that?
Right.
There got to be some tear gas or something. Something. Because that was incredibly strong. But she not tear gas, but pepper sprayed this
she
guy.
tear gassed him.
And so yeah, by the time we came out of the tunnel, there was transit police on the platform. And I know what was the most confusing to that lady was she was the one that got arrested.
Yeah. Yeah, and she deserved it.
You assaulted that guy. That guy, I promise you, like the guy was asking everyone how to get there because I want to say Google Maps was a thing
on paper,
right? But
yeah.
because I remember having like a singular wireless flip phone at the time.
Oh wow.
You remember when those commercials used to come on pay as you go?
Yeah, yeah.
So I had a pay as you go phone
Right,
um from singular wireless. But anyway, yeah,
right,
man, I was like, oh, this spray pepper spray.
right. Wow, that's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
There's no need to be on it. For it to be midday that like that, it was a good bit of people on that train. It was the R train.
Okay.
So it was a good bit of people on that train. Um, that guy wasn't going to do anything to you, ma'am.
Right.
Nothing. Pepper spray the guy. Oh, he did it, ma'am. Do you know? Shh.
That's crazy.
Anyway,
That's crazy, bro.
there's there's something that I want to touch on this morning.
Okay.
But first let's do the
The weather?
yeah, let's do the weather, and then we can jump
Health and
into
lifestyle.
health and lifestyles.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Or here we go.
Today in the tri-state area, we're at a mild 61 degrees with temperatures reaching up into the upper 60s, maybe even 70 in the tri-state area. It's going to be cloudy all day with a chance of showers later in the evening. Uncle
Um,
Freezy.
Same. My bad, my bad. I'm gonna use a movie line. Ditto. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember with that phrase when the
Um,
girl was like, "But I love you," and the dude is like, "Ditto." Anybody
um,
remember what movie that's from?
it's either Ghost.
But it is Ghost.
Okay,
It is Ghost, man. You know your stuff, bro.
I know some things. That movie, um, Patrick Swayze was the dude for a minute,
For a
and he
minute.
was loved. He was loved by women of all nationalities.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times I've seen Roadhouse
Oh, that's that joint, bro.
and Ghost.
Yeah.
Oh my love. I'm like, yo, come on. Or
Yeah, man.
I've had the time of my life.
Yeah.
And those three movies played heavy in the crib. I was like, yo.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy must be a national treasure. And then him, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo did the wildest thing
Oh,
ever.
bro. Bro, get out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Woo
Two
too.
one food.
Wong Fu. Thank you, Julie Newmars. I said, there is no way anybody was looking at Wesley and like,
Wesley Snipes looked trapalicious.
he looked nasty. I was like,
Yes.
this nigga looks down south. They either say you look mashed up or he looks stank.
Yes.
She look all stank. Ugh.
Yeah.
You look stank.
And he was both.
Yes.
Yes.
I was like, who in the world like this town? Come on. And that made me think like, yo, come on, people from the South aren't slow. Like
No.
you mean to tell me this whole town nobody knew these were men?
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Right.
Nah, man, Holiday Hearts is a very good movie.
Yeah.
A very good movie.
Except I've never seen it.
You've never seen Holiday Hearts?
No, sir.
It's good. It's good. It's one of Vin Rames' better movies in my opinion, outside of like Rosewood, uh, Holiday Hearts. Yeah.
Okay.
But on a serious note, I hate to bring down the fun, but there's something that Chuck wants to touch on this morning.
Okay. Should we transition into it?
Yes, sir.
Health and lifestyle.
Health and
Now I'm
lifestyle.
gonna try this one more time. My internet has been acting crazy, so I'm gonna click on it one time and see if it'll work. Let's see. Okay, so it didn't want to. How about try again? Yo.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure where this stuff falls under. Is it? I know it has something to do with a person's mental health, mental stability. Um, but there was another mass shooting, this time at elementary school. WTF? What is going on with uh these young Caucasian boys going in and harming innocent folks? 18 babies were dead yesterday. That was the final count. 5 adults. What the heck? Like, make it make sense to me. You went and shot up an elementary school for what? Um, I'm I'm if I were a parent, I'd be afraid to send my child to school.
Yeah.
I would be absolutely afraid. I can't I, I can't even front. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about Chuck, but I cried for those parents yesterday, man. I sat in the same chair right here and just sobbed, man, to know that you got a call from work. There's something going on at your kid's school. And when you get there, you find out your baby is gone.
Right. Right.
That is like, and then there's no one to hold accountable for it because this shooter was killed, right?
Yes. Yes.
So now I have to,
There's no justice.
there's no justice. Like, there's nothing, even if he would have went to jail and I would have been able to stand in court and speak my piece, nothing brings that child back.
Right.
Nothing really eases the heart of a parent. A parent is not supposed to bury their, I mean, a parent is not supposed to bury their child. That's not how it was designed.
Right.
You know what I mean? When mom and dad becomes great grandma, great grandpa, something like that, in my opinion, I know that sounds ideologic, you know,
And
or
traditional, like, yeah,
right,
like
but
like the seasons change.
right,
Like spring is not supposed to die. Fall is supposed to die. Winter is supposed to die.
right,
Spring, life springs eternal, right? You're not supposed to spring. You're not supposed to see flowers start to bloom and then die. You're supposed to see the buds come out and then go through the circle of life and
right,
then wither away, right? You're not supposed to see that. And older people understand this. That's why they embrace. And so that's why older people, like, especially people at my age, maybe Soulfinger can feel it, know what I'm talking about too. When you see the old age about to old age is around the corner, you
yes,
embrace it, but you also know what comes next, right? The end of the road, right? Because you start off as a baby, can't do anything for yourself. Babies really can't even see
right,
until they're about a year old, right? They don't have real vision until they're about a year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they could see blurry stuff at first and all of that stuff and all of, you know what I'm saying? But babies, especially that age, like elementary school age, they still don't have all their motor skills. Shit, kids 5 years old, still 3, 4, 5, still learning to tie their shoe. You know what I'm saying? Still, you know what? The biggest trap is, I'm gonna say something kind of awkward and funny and ironic, but not really funny in a sense to the story that you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
But have you ever seen a 5-year-old trying to open that milk carton, that container? You know what I'm saying? They will get frustrated. They will get frustrated and stab it with a pencil.
Yes.
Because they can't even get it because they're so young.
Right.
Right? Because they're so young, right? And then to understand that these babies, not from illness, not from a natural cause, just taken in an unnatural way, just hurts your heart. Especially
yes,
when you know it's people that are suffering from some type of mental illness. Right? And I know what people are going to say. People are going to say, oh man, it's guns. The guns are the problem. No, man, look, I'll debate people all day, man. I'm a gun owner, right? I got plenty of guns. I love guns. I love my guns almost as much as I love Benny. If I had to choose, Benny did pee in my Knicks shorts yesterday, so it would be justice for me to kind of. But that's what I get for leaving. That's what I get for separating laundry, right? But anyway. My thing is, man, my heart hurts for these people.
Absolutely.
Right. And not just for the victims themselves, not for the people that died. Right. Not for the people that died, but for the people, for their loved ones.
Right.
Because I feel for the people that died. I do. But the survivors,
right,
of this event, and especially for the people that were there, that had to go through it and survived it.
Right.
You hear shooting and screaming and all these things, and police cars and people running and all this thing, and you survive that, bro. That's something you'll never get over as long as you live.
Everyone involved, and even the despicable shooter, his family, because them folks ain't had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? But they have to deal with, the hatred and vitriol that people would have for him, but he's dead, but they have for the family. Now, y'all knew what he was about. Y'all knew what he was going to do. As you can see, dude shot his grandmother first.
Right.
So that means maybe she knew and she tried to stop him, or she knew what he was doing, or she was just one of those people on his list. And the thing is, we'll never know why he did it, right? Because he's gone. He don't get the answer for what he did. The children that were there, the teachers that were there, that are going to be traumatized by this.
Right.
This is going to live with them forever. Like when I in basic training, 15 people out of 250 people that was in our unit, right? 15 people were from Columbine High School.
Wow.
That just happened a few months ago, right?
Right.
And it was like,
you mean when you went in?
When I went in. I apologize. Yeah, when I was in there, like it just happened like a few months ago, right?
Right.
And so once people found out, where they were from, it was like, yo, oh man, like we're so sorry, like what happened, blase blah. And it was like, yo, let's not even talk about it.
Right.
Nothing. There's nothing that gives us comfort or can help us get over what happened that day. And then there were several people that I talked to, like after church on Sundays, I would go to the Protestant services and things like that. And a lot of these kids joined because they felt helpless in their situation. And they felt like if they had that kind of training, knew what to do in situations like that, something could have changed, right?
Right.
And I'm like, nah, man, you don't want to. That already happened. Yeah, I know you want to probably prevent it, but it was nothing you could. You were a student. Who would have thought something like that would have happened that day? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have gone to school thinking that. Even when I was going to high school in New York, and we had to go through metal detectors.
Yes. Yep.
Like I didn't think like, yo, somebody's gonna come in and like shoot everybody.
Because we naive, bro. At that age, no matter how mature you are still naive.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? At that age, no matter how much you've been through, you still naive. You know what I'm saying? Because you're young. They call you in the streets. We call the baby seeds, right? We call them seeds for a purpose, for a reason.
Yeah.
You're a seed because you have not yet developed fully into the beautiful flower you're intended to be, right? And I can get into, and trust me, bro, I'm a man. Listen, y'all already know my background. I can get into allegory and all this stuff, comparing the human's existence to things in nature. I can do that all day. I'm probably I feel like I'm the best in the country at it, right? But whatever. But listen, the thing about the thing about that is this. When you're a seed, like say when you got something for me?
Yes.
Okay. When you're that young,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what you've been through, no matter how many stuff. Okay, can you put it right there?
Good morning, Miss Mocha.
Yeah. She's like, hey, stop talking and take this. but no, hey, no matter how experienced you are,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? As a seed, you're still a seed, right? Right. No matter, and I'll compare it to like being planted. When the first day you're planted, no matter how much it rains and no matter how much you get fertilized, I'll say it that way. I won't say, saying pooped on for the sake of respect for the conversation, but no matter how much you get fertilized, you will never be the tree, right? Because you gotta go through and grow through some stuff.
Right.
Right. And so with you in the metal detectors, like with me too, man, listen, I lived in Texas during the worst mass shooting era ever, right? The early 90s in Texas.
Yeah.
With everything, man, the post office person,
Yeah.
the McDonald's person, remember the person came in McDonald's, shot up 30 something people?
Yes.
I was in Texas during that time, right? In the early 90s. Right? You was kind of scared because there would be a mass shooting in such and such, a mass shooting in such and such. Somebody got mad at work and snapped and came, oh yeah, y'all gonna fire me? I'm getting ready to fire y'all for real. That happened in Texas. You know what I'm saying? And so we was like, you go in your KFC, you're like, damn, why you got metal detectors up in KFC? At the door. This is crazy. And me thinking like, yeah, this is crazy. Chuck, I was 25, 26, something like that at the time.
Yes, sir.
I was like, yo, giggling silly. They got metal detectors at KFC. And not thinking like, damn, has it gotten that serious? Well, you got to put up metal detectors at a fast food place?
Right.
And now here we are a million years later, and we still talking about babies getting murdered by going to school. Right? We can't even keep our babies safe at school. Right?
Right. I have I think that there's so many ways I want to like I'm trying to not be emotional when I speak on this topic, but it's hard. Um there's several things that bother me outside of the horrendous act. We touched on it the other day when we discussed Buffalo. We talked about it on Monday when we discussed Buffalo.
Right.
What's up with the news romanticizing these shooters? How are these shooters not demonized? Why are
I
you
thought
making
I
them
see.
why are you making them seem human? Because when it's and I'm keeping and for those who like, oh, here goes Chuck talking this black and white thing. But when it is a young black guy who does something, a young black kid does something, if he's close to 18, they refer to him as a black man.
Yeah. So they
Even
start using terms like death penalty, electric chair. Yeah.
right. They use these words, and it comes from the news. Like the news is absolutely doing it. Because even in the situation with Mike Brown, they tried to make Mike Brown seem like a gargantuan, that this officer was absolutely had to be afraid of him
Right.
when the officer was 6'4", 225.
Right.
There's no way you were afraid of this kid. This is a kid. Last year he was in high school.
That's the kid from Mike Brown is the kid from where, Chuck?
From
St. Louis.
St.
St. Louis?
Louis.
Yeah.
Yes. So with that being said, um I'm reading some articles last night. I try not to watch as much of the news. Um but
And the suspect was Hispanic, Chuck.
right.
And to some people, like, it don't matter. I mean, well, they say it don't matter because they think anything that's not black is white, and it's not, because life is not, and people are not as simple as black and white, right? And so my deal is with this is anybody here with military experience that has ever been to the firing range understands how much work it takes to fire a semi-automatic weapon.
Yep.
It's a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's legit a job. Right?
All up in here be sore.
Yes. Yeah. Man, you got to pack magazines.
Yep.
You feel me? You got to keep your ammo clean. You got to keep your ammo dry and clean. You got to keep your weapon dry and clean. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your scopes lined up. You got to keep your straps. It's a job.
Right.
So when somebody goes into a place, this is not my orange juice is lukewarm. Or this is not hey, I got this weapon right here. I'm just going to shoot up everything. Right? This is planned. This is a planned attack.
Right.
You feel me? This is planned. And here's the thing that I'm going to speak to, and I know people hate it, right? But if you want to stop, if you want to stop young kids, if you want to stop young people, young people's obsession with semi-automatic weapons and killing people, start with video games. Don't start with the weapons. Start with video games, bro. Because you can go in any Walmart, Target, USA, and see first-person shooter games in a row about 60 feet long.
Right.
Right? You how about that? How about stop these first-person shooters? Right? No lie. Hey, so, hey, Yankees morning brew was good. Chuck, one day I woke up. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I woke up. My son asked me for this game, right? I was like, hey, ain't nothing but a game. I'll get it. Ain't nothing. That's all you want? You want a car too? You want a house? You know, so this is me. This is me talking. What else you want? You want some pizza? Pizza $50? Sure, it ain't nothing. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
I come in the living room. Everybody's got on headsets. Notice I said everybody. Everybody's got on headsets, talking in headsets, and the screen at the time we had a 65-inch TV. Mm-hmm. The screen is split into quadrants, right? My a couple of my sons, one of their friends, and my nephew is in the living room playing the game, first-person shooter. Hey, get this wall right here. All you hear is bullets flying, all this stuff, man. You see dying all on the screen. You see the images. And I turn around and go back in the room. Because I don't like that kind of, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't like that stuff for a lot of different reasons. I ain't gonna get into it here.
Right.
For one, it ain't none of nobody's business. Two, I just don't like nobody talking. Yeah. Let's just leave it like that. Right. They are online, Chuck, playing against other dudes, right? Teaming up, trying to kill each other with semi-automatic weapons. Right? I walked out there with my son coming in the room. He like, my son, this is my youngest son. It's like, Uncle Freezy, you don't want to play the game with us? And I'm like, stop calling me Uncle Freezy, I'm your daddy. You know what I'm saying? So he like, you don't want to play the game with? I'm like, man, I don't like playing. That ain't my thing. You got some Pac-Man, yo, or something? You got some NBA 2K? Now I play some 2K. Right. But I ain't gonna play no first person shooters because this is violent. This ain't my thing. This ain't my thing. Mentally, I'm not there. Right. And he's like, no, man, it ain't that. Just imagine. And I'm like, I don't have to imagine that, bro. I don't have to imagine this stuff. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, okay, I'll do it. The only thing is I'm not gonna use a gun, I'm gonna use a knife. And the kids is like, it's their time to pull out an old cliche. And y'all know what the old cliche is.
Bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Why are you bringing a knife to a gunfight? So here's the thing. I'm teaching them something. The thing about bringing a knife to a gunfight is for one, with a knife, you know what I'm saying, on the game, you kill one person at a time. And you got to work at it. And then two, if you're not good with that knife on the game, if you're not good with the knife, the person that you're attacking with the knife might mess around and kick your ass.
Right. Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. But when you're playing with semi-automatic weapons, you can hide behind something and kill masses of people.
Right.
Right. And not even without even the risk of getting injured. Right. And so they like, yo, and I'm like, and so when I saw that, I was like, yo, this is going to contribute to a culture of mass shooting. I told my oldest son that. My oldest son had just got accepted to, I can't remember, Georgia Tech or South Carolina or somewhere.
Right.
My oldest son, he just got, that's the engineering dude that does all the wiring stuff for these major companies and all that stuff.
Right.
The smart one, right? Well, all of them smart, but but my point is, by watching a video game, Chuck, you can see where somebody can be trained in the mindset of a mass shooter.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can hide. Because even on the game, you're practicing being a mass shooter.
Yes.
And hiding behind something.
So if anyone's ever played GTA, now that was a game that I would waste hours playing, especially when I was bedbound. Oh, I would play that game for hours. But then I noticed when things would happen in real life, my first response was, man, I would have shot that mother. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Why would I shoot him? There's a part of this game in GTA. It's called the Rampage. Where you go around and kill as many people. You have to kill a certain amount of people
in a time limit.
In a time limit, right?
Yeah.
And if you spend hours doing that, if you spend hours engaging in that, it becomes a part of your psyche. I said the same thing about music. If all the music you listen to is trap, kill, sell drugs, kill the ops, roll up with the stick, shoot up the block, as soon as something happens in real life, that which is in the back of your mind comes to the front of your mind, and now you're standing in front of a lineup poster or getting your mug shot and facing life in prison. And people are like, oh no, man, it's just entertainment. Well, if you got a bunch of people on drugs, because everybody's smoking weed younger and younger, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of underdeveloped brains on a drug that stunts the brain, and then you fill that already fragile mind with a bunch of violent imagery,
And they super sensitive.
You've created a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
You created a landmine. You don't know where it's at, but as soon as you step on it, you'll know. Boom. And everybody's like, well, I don't know how we've created this. We've created this condition. And I know people want to say, oh man, it's just entertainment. But if you cannot distinguish the difference, there's only people that have developed minds that can distinguish, yo, this is fantasy from reality, right? Because there have been plenty of situations, especially living here in NY, where you've been, walking down the street and you may see a celebrity, you may see somebody from your favorite movie, you may see a NBA superstar, whatever the case may be. I've watched people walk up to people and be like, "I didn't like. Why'd you do that to her?" And they'd be like, "What are you talking about? You know you ain't had to do that to that girl in that movie."
Oh man.
And I'm like,
go buy your coffee, man. You know what I'm saying?
Are you serious? That's a movie. It's a movie. It wasn't real.
Right.
But for some people it is.
Right.
For some people it is. Like they get so wrapped up in it because they live vicariously through these characters. They get so wrapped up in it that they can't distinguish fact from reality. I heard Mike Epps said that one time. And he was like, yeah, man, I get it, iconic characters, blah, blah, blah. But he was like, yo. Some of y'all got to chill. And so if you look at it, if you take everything that we just said in a whole and put it together, you can I believe that the gun companies are happy because guess what? You go see something on GTA, like when you walk in the ammo store, and you be like, oh man, look at this gun. Guess what? There's a website that has that gun for sale.
Right.
And you got to get it now. Right?
Yeah.
I was watching oh man, I can't think of these dudes' name, but they make guns, right? And they've designed tons of guns for different movies and stuff.
Right.
So they have these guns that look like guns from Halo and look like guns from GTA and uh Call of Duty.
Right.
And they sell these guns sell out. So
Yes, they
there's a
do.
bunch there's a bunch of these guns floating around um with people who I think could be mentally unstable. Like cuz
Right.
there's no psychological check for getting guns.
No.
I remember when I moved to the
Just a
Carolinas.
just a criminal check.
That's it. And not even that cuz when I went to a country store. And if anybody understands what I'm saying, like you can get live crickets, blood worms,
Yeah.
a camouflage shirt,
Fried chicken, macaroni
fried
and
chicken,
cheese,
yes, all
ice
in the
cold
same place.
soda, hot dogs,
A cooler,
gas.
styrofoam cooler with some beer,
Yeah.
a lawn chair. Like you
Yeah.
can get all this stuff out this place, right? And this is the place where you go get your
Except
official.
Wi-Fi. Now you ain't gonna be able to get no
You ain't get no
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi out of it. No, absolutely not. But you go there to get your fishing license, whether it's for 7 days, the whole season, and you can get your hunting license there.
Right.
And all they ask you for is your ID.
Right.
That's it. And then once you get that license, you can buy any of those shotguns that are behind that counter.
Yep. Yep.
As long as you have age or there's a consenting adult there with you.
Right.
So it wasn't unusual for me to go to school when I was in when I finished high school in the Carolinas for people, and this is black and white, pickup trucks with a gun rack and two shotguns in the
Right.
back.
Right.
I'm telling you, walk out in the parking lot during lunch. Oh man, let me see your shotgun. Oh, this is a 20 gauge? Nah, it's a 12 gauge. Oh, this is like, I mean, even exchanging live ammo
Yeah.
with one another. Oh man, I ain't got nothing but bird shots, man. You got buck shots, man. I'll give you 10 of these bird shots for 6 of your buck shots. Like,
Right.
word?
Right.
Gun culture. I know they want to say it's American culture, but we gotta protect the minds of our
But
babies, man.
and we got to ask ourselves, what is American? I think that's where the conversation should start.
Okay.
What is American? Because America is different things to different people, right?
Right.
So
I agree.
so for me, being American means I'm a part of a mass of people that I dislike and like. I see. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about America. See, I love America because I can randomly run across a dude named Chuck Allen,
Mm-hmm.
and we can kick it and talk about whatever it is that we want to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is I can meet a random dude on the internet named Mr. Vince, and we can kick it, right? And talk about stuff. See, other places you have restrictions on that.
Right.
Here we are free. Now, along with the liberties we have, we also have other stuff that make me dislike people, right? Like the random redlining laws that are not written to subjugate and hold people back, but are alluded to, right? Like they won't say women can't do this, but they'll have stuff that says gender, all this, things like that. Or they won't have things that won't specifically identify you as, say, black, but it'll list you such and such from such and such neighborhood, such as all these different, these different. So those are certain things that I dislike, right? So my thing is what is American? See, because to me, guns don't make you American. Freedom and liberty make you American. Right? Like where I live at in South Carolina, you often see the flag of another country, right? And the people that supported that country that went to war with the United States in their yard, right? I ain't talking about Mexico, right? Not talking about England, right?
Right.
I'm talking about the Confederacy.
Yeah.
That was a separate country. They left the United States. They went to war with the United States, and you see they flag on people's cars and trucks in the yard. See, in other countries, you wouldn't be able to do that, right?
Right.
Right? You ain't getting ready to see no flag of, say, Germany outright in a Russian's yard. Well, they went to war with each other.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, listen, I don't care. But what I'm saying is, in America, you have the rights and liberty to do basically what it is that you want to do, unless you break a safety law. Most of the laws in this country are less about loyalty and more about safety, protecting people. Most of the laws. Now, there are some laws out there that go too far with the protecting of people, like protect a certain people's wealth away from other people who want to get wealth and live a happy life. You know what I'm saying? But America doesn't mean guns, right? America, it don't mean guns, and it doesn't mean specifically capitalism, even though we live in a capitalist society. It doesn't specifically mean that, even though it's encouraged. Better man win. Ain't no pass it out equally. It's better man win.
Right.
Just like YouTube. Like we're live on YouTube right now. And we're in competition with other people that are live on YouTube right now, because we know in order to get the bag, we have to be better than them. Right? That's the capitalist society that we live in. Right? In order for us to get the bag, we got to be better than everybody else. Oh, well, YouTube ain't going to just say, hey, you participating, we giving everything out equally. Nah, it don't work like that. Not here. You know what I'm saying? And besides, if it was, me and Chuck would be rich by now. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, is America, in my opinion, and I'm not saying that I'm absolutely correct, but I'm speaking from my experiences. From my the dog done lost his collar again. I think the dog from next door took his collar off. Or maybe Benny. You think Benny did it?
No, Benny was on the chain.
Oh, Benny was on the chain. So anyway, those Seresto collars cost. How much does Seresto collars cost?
It's like $60-something each.
They like $60-something
No,
each.
that is his other collar.
Oh, the leash? Oh shit, I ain't worried about it. That's $2. anyway, that's a resto collar though. But anyway, but yeah, Chuck. The thing that I'm getting at is I know America is different to different people, but I think what has happened, and I think what people don't notice, is that the country is divided. Always has been, in my opinion, and always will be.
Facts.
The country is divided into individuals that have different ideals of what America can be and should be. Right? Like there are some people that think the more rights you give to others, the more rights you take away from them.
No.
Is that correct? No. But if you've had it your way for such and such amount of generations, and then other people come to the party, you have this feeling, you might have this feeling of something's being taken away from you. Well, sure. You had 95% of it. What's wrong with having 60% of it? Well, their mindset is, well, the 35% that you want to take from me and give to somebody else is mine. and minorities will say, no, we want that 35% should be divided up equally, not just to minorities, but whatever. And I know this is getting kind of off topic about what you said about the mass shootings, but my point is the reason why we have these guns is because guns give people power, right? Some practical power and some imagined power, right? Like I have guns, right? And guns make me feel safe. But at the end of the day, I will put these up. I will. And y'all see these,
Right.
y'all see these hands, y'all see these hands. These ain't the hands of a man that, you know what I'm saying, typed his whole life.
Right.
And these are the broken down, scarred, ugly hands of a man that doesn't have used them and probably too much. Right? But the thing is, I'm getting at is guns give people power. And until we change people's mindset, until we get people the mindset that guns are not to show the world how much power you have, but to make sure that nobody takes advantage of you. That's what guns are supposed to be for. Right? But it's one of those things that guns give people power.
Right.
But Chet, my question to you is this. Why do people need power?
So they can feel better. They can feel safe. Um, so they can feel better than the next person. Um, the that question is, can be answered a multitude of ways, and I feel like all of those answers will be valid. Um, some people want power. Like I want to control something. I want to feel like I'm in control of something. Um, but I don't. Okay. Well, yeah, man. Um, I'm really trying to, cause see, I'm of the same ilk as you. Like when I was younger, growing up, you had an issue with somebody, you had to put them up,
Yep.
and guess what? You can lose,
Right.
but as long as you put them up, there was a certain level of respect you got. Like, yo, man, yeah, he got washed, but he ain't run either. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And he kept every time he got knocked down, he kept getting back up. He tough dude. Um, Now no one wants to take the L because they don't want to be ridiculed by the people standing around. And I think the crowd makes a difference. The audience makes a difference
Right. Right.
because guess what? You and I get into a fight and you whoop Chuck. I mean, you whoop Chuck good. The crowd now is antagonizing. God, dog, Chuck, Uncle Freezy, Uncle Freezy stole everything. Everything he wanted, he stole. Stole that chin, he stole that nose, he stole them eyes. Boy, you need to put ice all over your body.
Yeah. And I'm not like
And,
that too, y'all, by the way.
and then that goes on for days or weeks or months. You know how Uncle Freezy cut my butt, and because I can't shut them up, right? I go grab a gun and then I shoot Uncle Freezy
Yep.
because I couldn't beat him.
Right.
But I don't want. I got to shut them up because they keep calling me punk and whatever.
Right.
And I think a lot of this is motivated. A lot of these instances, especially in the hood, get motivated that way. And I'll be like, yo, man, don't listen to the people standing around. Because guess what? You shoot and kill somebody, they still gonna be out here talking trash about the next person. Them people that's talking ain't never gonna be in the middle of the circle with their hands up. They're always gonna be on the outside talking about what somebody else did or what they would have done. You know what I mean? If you're just now joining us, it's your host Chuck Allen, Uncle Freezy, coming to you live, Vibes and Stuff live this morning. It's about 50 minutes after the hour of 9 a.m. and we're discussing the mass shootings that occurred over the weekend and yesterday, the mindset of folks who do these things, and America's role in aiding and abetting these things. Because people say in a minute it's American to own a gun, and I'm like, I get it. You know why I get it? Because those settlers who came here, had they not have guns, they would have lost, and they were losing. So they had to go to biological warfare to even the playing field. I'm going to pretend to be your friend. I'm going to give you these blankets laced with smallpox. Y'all don't know. Y'all immune system cannot deal with it because even though we have our guns aren't enough because they weren't semi-automatic. They were
not at the time. Thank you, Gatlin Brothers. Thank you, Gatlin Brothers. Appreciate y'all.
Right. Because it was about taking over and control. You know what I mean? And so guns give people a false sense of security. I watched the dude pull a 25 out at a guy because he couldn't beat him. So he pulls it out. And you know what happened?
The other dude whooped his ass.
And took his gun.
Pulling out that shit gun.
He said,
you going to pull out a Saturday Night Special? No, I'm sorry, not 25, but 25 is not a Saturday Night Special.
Nah, 32, right?
Oh,
32,
okay.
32
yeah.
Saturday Night Special?
Same thing.
Yeah. They both small caliber. Yeah. They ain't gonna do nothing. You was better off. You could have pulled out a pellet gun and got the same reaction.
You could have stabbed somebody.
Yeah.
But and I'm not making light of guns, y'all. I'm not making light of guns. And don't use guns.
Don't. Yo, you know it's okay to shut up sometimes. You know it's okay to walk away.
You know what? It's okay to run.
Right. Nah, man, I ain't never running. I ain't never scared. I die for mine. Okay.
For what? You gonna die for your what?
For my respect, man. People will know. Oh. People gonna say forever, Uncle Freezy. Chuck never ran, never will. Chuck went out like a G. Chuck stood there and he took it.
He took what? He took what, Chuck? Death?
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing about people, when people say that, like, yo, man, they'll say you're a real N-word. They'll say you're a real N-word every once in a while when you cross their mind. They'll talk real. You'll be the topic of conversation for that week until your funeral's over.
And then everybody, yo, when's the repass? I'm sure I'm hungry. You dead in the casket now. You in the ground with dirt on top of you. I hope such and such brought some collard greens. You can't even talk much.
Yeah, like yeah, man. A good run is better than a bad stand. I absolutely agree with that. But people don't. We have this. When I hear people talking about, oh man, I would never. I was like, because you ain't never been in nothing.
Right.
Like you're saying that, because like you've never been jumped, my guy. Like sometimes it's good to run. You ain't about to take on no 10 dudes by yourself. What if,
by
you think you
yourself.
Bruce Lee for real? You think this
In a
independent?
strange neighborhood where ain't nobody coming to help you, and you gonna
Nobody.
take nah.
Nah, I'm running.
Yes.
I'm running. I
Yep.
like it's not even a question. Yo, I ain't letting nobody take nothing from me. He has a gun. Take it.
So I had to knock one of my friends out over that. I hit that dude so hard because we was Chuck. Like it's about 20 dudes. Oh, you know who it? You remember this dude named Keystone? Remember the dude Keystone I told you
Yes,
about?
that you were talking about. Yeah.
We were in Waco, and he was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna say something. He's like a South Dallas Crip or some West Dallas Crip or something. And these dudes, we didn't know at the time. We was like in another gang neighborhood. I don't know gangs. I don't pretend to know gangs. All I know was they was opposite of what he was. It was like 25 of them and 6 of us, and only 3 of us could fight. So it was like 25 to 3, right? And this dude saw these dudes walking up the street, and he started yelling all this gang stuff. And he wasn't drunk either. He was in his right, absolutely sober, right? And I see, and the dudes was like, "What you say?" All that gang stuff. I don't know gang stuff. I don't pretend to know. I ain't no gang banger, right? If that's what you do, man, listen. I ain't trying to be disrespectful to nobody, but I will say this: if you outnumber 25 to 3, bro, I don't care where you from. For your own safety, if your safety is at risk, take off. Peel rubber. You know what I'm saying? Burnout. You know what I'm saying? Get in the road. You know what I'm saying? And my man, I hate this dude. And this is my friend. I looked at him like a little brother. Man, I hit that dude. And he's like, oh, not you, Uncle Freezy. Man, we put him in the car. Like, and we haul ass. And no lie, it was like Chuck, imagine this scene, bro. 3 6'5" dudes in a 1981 Ford Mustang. So you know how much room we
Crunched.
Yes.
Y'all was crunched. Yo, somebody whoever was driving was up on the steering wheel like this.
Like this. Yeah. The Brown driving like this, and it was a stick.
Oh, he was probably driving, staring with his thighs and shifting.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Listening to Onyx. Yeah, listening to Onyx, bro. Like it's crazy. Like, it's the stupid. So, yo, you know how sometimes irony, like puts you in a mindset where you're like, what?
Yes.
So he outside the car, me and him sitting outside, and my homeboy, bro, the one I told you passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He like, yo, look, and I'm scared because I never had great vision. So I'm looking down, I'm like, what? I look like fire ants down there. He's like, yeah, they headed this way too. And our little brother, we used to call him. I don't care, you know, he doing all these damn hand gestures and all this stuff, man. I'm like, oh God. And in the car, all you hear is, yeah, throw your guns. And we like, I'm like,
what? Just don't care.
Yeah, I'm like, no, this ain't the way I want to die. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna lie to you. Back then, how I wanted to die was like as an old man, and you know what I'm saying, with the missus with me, who at that time, whoever the missus was, let's just say, for the record, it was Mariah Carey. I just wanted to just die an old man with Mariah Carey in my head, in my arms. Bro, I had an ego back then, bro. I had a huge ego, bro. Yeah. But anyway, confident. But anyway, this dude, and they start shooting in the air. This dude, they got guns. Brown has a beater. I can't remember what the name of the gun is, but he bought a used gun from the pawn shop, right? But I had just heard this song called "Party" and "Party," and so So the up top guy got 222s in his shoes. Holler if you hear me. So I'm like, I'm thinking I'm doing something. I hit it. I'm carrying guns, right? Because the song is dope. Like I got chrome plated 22s, pearl handle joints, right? Not because of what they could do to people, but because that was like the joint. You know what I'm saying? You pull out you go to your man's house. You're like, yo, check this out. You're like, oh, you know, this is like a fashion statement more so than being responsible with weapons. You know what I'm saying? Because my full-time job, I was a soldier. And I was responsible for a killing machine, right? Called an M60, right?
Yep.
Nobody knows what the M60 is. I don't even want to get into it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not military, you're not going to understand, and I'm not getting into that, right? But basically, when you're the biggest dude in your squad, you carry the 60, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
So you go on road marches, you out in it, you know, blah, 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 right? So when we off, we do stuff like, you know what I'm saying, get the cute little 22s. They like, I think they was $200 a piece. You know, I think it was like 22 was like what, $95 a piece back then. I think I might have spent $200 total.
Okay.
So I got them, but they got things that go. You remember Harlem Nights?
Yeah.
Yes. And the dude like, yeah. It was that type of thing.
Don't shoot that little mother again.
Yeah. Like you remember that song, "Play Around" by Lil C's? You don't want to play around. You don't want to play around with me. Oh no. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Lil Kim had the thing like said the line like, we got guns that go, and you got the guns that go pip pip. Yeah, that was like the scenario, right?
Okay.
Man, I hit Keystone, and I don't really knock him out. I think I caught him off guard and hit him, and hurry up, put him in the car, and we burning rubber like 13 miles per hour.
Because he can't move. That mother can't move.
Because the man's wiggling and about to fall out the car. He's like a fish, like you put in the boat. He's like, you know what I'm saying? And then the dude in front of us, I'm gonna call him Morris, right? So his name kind of rhymed with Morris, right? So he in the front, he had just got his driver's license, right? So he trying to drive a stick.
Oh.
He was older than us, and he had just got his license. Shout out to New Jersey, by the way. Anyway. But yeah, Chuck. Yeah, man. The thing is, man, guns are crap. I honestly wish that the government would do away with semi-automatic weapons. What do you need them for? Right? Because you can't use them for big game hunting. Right?
Well, that's what they say. That's what they say they use them for.
What big game do you need to shoot 20 times to take it down?
It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
That's about it. Because you don't even need, if you were gator hunting, you wouldn't even need a gun. They make a little stick, little pole, and you put the shotgun shell at the end of the pole, and then it fires. You put it on top of their head, pow, kill them, one shot.
Right.
One shot. So you wouldn't need that for that. Even if you're talking about like a moose is huge. They ain't deer. Bro. They're not deer. Don't ever
trust
for deer.
Trust. Trust.
They're as big as giraffes. They're huge.
Yeah.
My first time seeing one in Colorado.
Yeah.
I was like, what the is that tree moving?
Yeah.
Because it's a buck and it got the huge rack. And when I tell you it stopped traffic on both sides, going and coming. And it
Yep.
strolled across the road like it owned that road. You know what I mean? They're huge. So you're not even with that, you're not gonna kill that with like a semi auto. What it is gun companies, hey, it's not enough money to sell these weapons to the military.
Right.
We have to make them available to the public because that's more money. It's about
Oversight.
money.
You get it? Yeah.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
They don't care. They don't care about your safety. They don't care about any of this stuff. It's about them making money. It's
Right.
about the the people with all the wealth continuing to have all the wealth. Like we don't care what y'all do with these guns. Y'all bought them, fine. Because
Right.
here's the thing: you'll lock up millions of teens and young adults from poor neighborhoods, right? For these guns. Where they getting these guns from? Where they're getting these guns from? Oh,
They
somebody
dirty.
can go to it. Yeah, they can go to. You can go to a gun show and buy as many guns as you want,
Right.
right? You can buy as many guns as you want, and guess what? Totally legit. And then I could go take those guns that I just bought, cash money, and then go to the hood and sell them
Yeah.
because they can't go. They're not going to go register a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys can't register weapons. So
Right.
hey, man, we'll sell them now. You got people with AR-15s, Desert Eagles, AK-47s, all types of assault rifles in the hood. So the gunfights that used to be with 22s and 32s and 38s, you only got what, 6 shots,
Right.
and then you got to reload.
Right.
And then if you what you call it, a hood dude, you probably had them same 6 bullets for like 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now that you shot them, they all gone. You ain't got no more,
Right.
right? So that was the end of it. But now a gunfight sounds like a war zone, man. It sounds like some of the places that you've been or Soulfinger's been. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like a war zone. Bah, 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 bah. One night. This is probably 2012. Um, I'm in my living room. It's super hot. I don't have air conditioning. We're going through a heat wave. I got 2 box fans in the window. I'm, boxers, no t-shirt, laying on the chair. Then all of a sudden I hear fa, 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 fa. Yo, this goes on for like 10 minutes. Goes
Right.
on for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, yo, what the heck is going on? And then you hear like a million sirens. You look outside, there's flashing lights everywhere. Um, these people had a shootout with the police.
Yeah.
The little yellow markers, the bullet markers, cops,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're
The number markers.
they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
And
everywhere.
those are for shell casings. They won't be able to find the bullets. The bullets will be stuck in something.
Right.
Those are
I,
for the shell casings. Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't even walk on the block because they had them everywhere.
Yeah.
2 block radius is taped off. They got traffic stopped both sides of the place, and it's like, well, what the heck is going on? And then the next day, the old lady with the word, she's like, yeah, these days getting crazy out here. They shooting at the police. And then it comes on the news, over 80 something shots.
Right.
Where in your right mind are you thinking I'm gonna have a gunfight with the police?
in a major metropolitan area.
Like, come on, man. What movies are you watching, man? Like, because this only in a movie, you think stuff like this is gonna happen.
You think this would happen in North Dakota when the FBI invades a compound, right?
Right.
Radicals, extremists.
Right.
The FBI is going to find terrorists, you know what I'm saying, inside the country that's planning stuff in the FBI. So you would expect to see a firefight there because extremists don't have nothing to get. That's right up the the police, the man is coming for us. That was a modus operandi anyway. The man is trying to hold us down. But
right,
bro, you just trying to go get a ham sandwich from the bodega?
Yeah.
And a firefight break out? What?
Yeah.
What in the world's going on?
Like,
Chuck, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. There is a sect of people, right? A sect, SECT, right? That romanticize this stuff, right? They're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Such and such ain't nothing to play with. You know, he carried the heat. We listen to rap music all the time, man. Such and such with the Roscoe, with the burner, with the heater. You know, no matter what name you call it, man, it's yo. As I go back and listen to Tupac, now I listen to a dude that's emotionally disturbed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we justify that. It's like, you remember when we did the DMX breakdown?
Yes.
And when you listen to Slippin', it was less about a thug on the street trying to get his rep.
Right.
But now that you listen to Slippin', you hear it's a young, disturbed man crying out for help.
Yes. Absolutely.
Right? And we didn't recognize it at the time because the beat was because it was like Slippin' by DMX is basically like a love song, right? And the love song is not meant to be the love of the streets because he's complaining about the stuff that he's been through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And DMX said it in his whole the first word out of DMX's mouth that I heard officially on an official album. DMX said, "What must I go through to show you is real?" Right? Those are the first words I heard out of his mouth. He cried. He planned his whole career, right? Out his whole career path. And from the very beginning, DMX is crying out for help, right? But we romanticized DMX's journey. Instead of somebody saying, hey, this young man need help. We was like, yo, that's fire, son. I'm with him. I'm a rough rider. Ride or die. You know, so all this stuff, right? Instead of listening to what he was actually saying, like, hey, man, I need help and I don't know how to go get it and I don't know where to get it from. Because the people around me also need help and they don't know where to go get it from, right? Mm-hmm. And this is why I think the mass shooting happened the other day, because this young man emotionally needed help and the people around him knew he needed help but didn't know how to get it or where to get it from.
I'm glad you made that point, because my thing is, why not? Because you have an ongoing situation that affects every hood USA, right? Every hood USA, every hood. And guess what? Every hood in the world. Because if you ever been other places, right? Yeah. Hey man, take me to y'all hood. It is the same thing.
Everywhere.
It's the same thing. You know what? In South Carolina, guess what? We got pit bulls. But guess what they got in Africa? Hyenas on chains.
Yeah.
Do you know how crazy hyenas on chains?
Right. Bro, have you ever seen a hyena, a live hyena? That's the
outside of the zoo. Outside of the zoo.
You ain't never seen You ain't ever seen a dog so ugly, bro. Then you ain't never seen, and so the first time I even heard of a hyena, right? It was used to be in the Bugs Bunny cartoon. They used to call them laughing hyenas,
Yes.
right? And so when I went to the zoo as a shorty, and of course in the hood in the Bronx Zoo, you know what I'm saying?
Bronx Zoo. You can smell it miles away.
Yes, yes. So when I went to the Bronx Zoo, right in a hood near you, right,
Yes.
right down the street from my grandmother, from I guess she was like my step grandmother, but my grandfather,
Mhm.
right down from my grandfather's house, Pee Wee. You know what I'm saying? We used to he'd take us to the zoo, and you know how you buy your Bronx Zoo T-shirt, the white T-shirt with like the blue sleeve or whatever back in.
Yeah.
I'm giving away my age, man, but whatever. This is back in the 70s when you can go buy the Bronx Zoo wristband. It'd be Yankee themed, like navy blue and white and navy blue, and it got the Bronx Zoo in it and all. But anyway, my grandfather said we was at the zoo. He was like, "Yo, I'll give you $10 right now if you forget the Mets and root for the Yankees. I'll give you. Oh, you just got to do it for the summer. You ain't got to do it when you get home. Just do it for the summer." And I cussed at my granddad. I'm like, won't you, granddad? You want me to stop loving the Mets? Are you serious? The Mets are on the way. And the Mets were in last place, like 32 games back. They had to go on a 50-game winning streak in order to make the playoffs. But anyway, it was like, yo, so we saw the laughing hyenas. And guess what, Chuck? The hyenas wasn't laughing. That's just the way they park.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I thought they were laughing like somebody told them a joke. You know how you're a kid? You're like, laughing hyena. And so the zookeeper, they in there and they tan khaki stuff, and they like, yo, I keep getting away my age. I don't think they wear the khaki stuff no more. Anyway, but what I'm getting at is when you're young and impressionable and naive, anything somebody say, you take it as gospel, bro.
Yes.
That's why I mentioned the video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I mentioned that stuff, man. Like when you young, you think that there were no repercussions for anything. Like taking somebody's life, right? I think the biggest crime in mass shootings is that a lot of times the shooters don't survive to see the chaos that they created. What would be the real justice is the shooter would survive and get to hear the horrific stuff or experience the horrific stuff that they created. And they would have to live with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So Mr. Vincent, closing on a light note, any KMD? Yeah, man. I want to do some KMD, man, but I can't do it for long just because I got some stuff going on.
Hello?
Yo.
Okay. I told her, man. My apologies. If you're just now joining us, this is your host Chuck Allen, Uncle Freezy, coming to you live on Hump Day, Wednesday, May 25th. We're discussing gratuitous violence that has been embedded in American culture. We're talking about the horrific mass shootings that have been going on. We're talking about mental health because the things that have occurred aren't a black and white thing or Asian and Hispanic thing. This is a humanitarian thing,
Right.
because it's not just one set or group of people perpetrating atrocities on another. It's people with mental illness. Something's wrong. No sane person does what these people have done.
Right.
And we're just having healthy dialogue, diagnosing the problem and trying to find solutions to the problem. So thank you for joining us today. And if it's your first time, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit those likes, man. Get us up in the algorithm. Make sure you hit all notifications so that when we upload or we go live, you'll know and you can come kick it with us. But
Right.
Unc, I I want to I want people to understand that uh mental health is a big thing. Like it's been something that keeps getting swept under the rug.
Right.
Um and we're not dealing with it. Uh and it's been going on for years. Like when people came home from the various wars,
Right.
I think I think it's a travesty what they've done to our military folk. You send these young men and women into these foreign countries under the auspice that they're doing something for our freedoms when it is to further your political gain and
Yeah.
financial gain, and they see things that they can never unsee. They hear things they can never unhear. They do things that they can never undo. And then you send them home to deal with that on their own. And you give them the runaround at the VAs.
Yeah.
You don't really give them sufficient counseling, but you'll want to shove medication down their throats. Why? I believe that all of you people work in concert together of keeping your money flowing.
Right.
Uh, because doctors are now starting to not diagnose things, but just listen to your symptoms and give you a bunch of pills. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not trying to cure anything because the money's not in the cure. The money's in the comeback.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so you have that, right? Then you have young men and women that are in poor and desolated areas living with crime on a day-to-day basis. As much as you can say, Boys in the Hood, the opening of Boys in the Hood. Oh, that's just a movie.
Right.
Wrong.
Right.
That
Right.
happens in every hood USA, and
Yeah.
it probably happening right now. Hey man,
Yeah.
you want to see a dead body?
Yeah.
And the children that grow up in that environment uh, grow up with undiagnosed PTSD,
Right.
right? And then they shove you into this world and tell you to be something else.
Right.
When all you've been raised with trauma and issues. Um, I, I'm not excusing or making the excuse for why so many people have had to die over the past couple of days. It makes no sense. It's a senseless act. But in your heart of hearts, you have to understand something is wrong with these people. That is not normal behavior. If I right now on this camera stood up on my chair, pulled my pants down, took a dump, and then rubbed it in my face, and I'm like, what the
I'm
what are
calling
you
911. I ain't even
right?
gonna laugh. I'm calling. I'm see, because I'm emotionally mature,
Right.
right? So when I see something like that, I'm calling 911. Like, hey man, listen, my man is having some type of breakdown, man. Somebody need to, because at the bare minimum, emergency services is gonna come check you out and pass you up to your family so your family can have can maybe take over. Maximum, they give you all the emergency care that you need, and start you on a path of getting that right. Right. And so what happens is we have a healthy fear of somebody saying that we're crazy. Those are the two things. You can't be called crazy and you can't be called soft, right? For some reason, people would rather be a killer than be called soft or crazy, right? And the thing about it is, as human beings, those that know about existence know that you exist emotionally and spiritually as well as physically. And you got to have all these things in order, you know what I'm saying, to function on a daily basis. You can't be head over heels, right? You can't head over heels is having your emotions be more important than your mental health and your physical health.
Mm-hmm.
That's head over heels. You don't want to be that. You want your emotions to be grounded. You want your
Right.
physical body to be grounded. You want your mental to be grounded. You want all of it to be in line, right? But when one of these things get out of order, it turns you into something. I mean, because the body, the physical, basically is just a shell. The other two drive who you are. Like
Right.
I think Nietzsche said it. I think I think therefore I am. Who's Chuck? Who said that? I think
I
therefore
believe
I
it.
am.
I believe that is Nietzsche. I believe that's Nietzsche. You can go ahead and look that up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. Savage NY says we're losing generations of young brothers in Chicago, NY, and etc. from black on black crime. It has nothing to do with mental health. Every weekend is a mass shooting in these cities. It was Socrates. Okay.
I thought it was Descartes. So the internet is saying Descartes. I think therefore I
Okay.
am. So one of them. So one of them Greek dudes.
And I hear you, Savage NY, but I have to disagree with you, and this is the point that I have to disagree with you with. You're talking about undeveloped minds, fed junk. People that can't that don't have their frontal lobes haven't been fully developed.
Right.
They've probably been smoking weed or doing some type of drugs or drinking since they were 11 or 12. All they consume is hip hop music that promotes death and violence. And then next thing you know, it's a part of your fabric, and you think that's what you have to
That's life.
do,
Right.
right? And that's mental manipulation.
Right.
I it's hard for me to believe, like, yo, I don't know you to hate you. That's that's a concept that I can't get behind. Like, I don't know you, so I can't say I hate you. Like, man, I hate them dudes over there, but you
I
don't know
heard I
nobody.
heard 125th. I hate 125th Street. What? You
How?
hate 125th Street? But part of that too is a part of this deeper thing that people really don't get into. So we have this innate thing, like we have tribalism,
Yes.
and people don't understand what tribalism. We have um, this thing of we belong to a certain group of people, and it's like an old school genetic thing about us. It was survival mode. Like people used to hunt in packs and stay in packs in order to survive. And these packs would have about 12 to 13 people in them, no more than that. Right. And once
Right.
you got to about 14, 15, somebody would split off and start their own pack. Right. And we still have those instincts now when we shouldn't. Right. And the thing in Chicago is crazy. Right.
Right.
The stuff going on in Chicago is crazy. The things going on, not only in Chicago, but Little Rock, Arkansas, Los Angeles, California, Miami, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Washington, D.C., Brooklyn, New York,
Yeah.
Boston, Massachusetts. Detroit, Michigan used to be the worst. Gary, Indiana, the GI soldiers, Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
All the St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis?
St. Louis, the Louis.
Oh my good man, St. Louis
Kansas
was so
City.
bad. Kansas City, Missouri, man. Yeah. Somebody, I had a friend named Chubb from East St. Louis. And I was like, damn, and I used to joke with him, damn, y'all was that broke? Y'all couldn't even live in St. Louis? Y'all lived in East St. Louis? He's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, we was too broke to live in a big city, so we live right outside in East St. Louis, which is its own city, by the way. It's incorporated, whatever. But he was like, yo, the gangbanging and the street violence is so bad. It's crazy. And so the fear that everybody thinks is that this thing will never stop. It's a never see. Portland, Oregon. My homeboy Crumble told me one time that you could only go out play on basketball on certain courts on certain time of day because otherwise what I'm saying, it'll be gangbangers out there ruling the courts. They just out there to sell dope. Like if you just want to shoot ball, you couldn't play. It was just the drug dealer hangout, right?
Right.
And this was in 87, 89 something. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, yo, this thing is nonsense. Chuck, me and you remember the movie we watched? I told you I can't never watch the end.
Yeah.
Coolie High.
Coolie High, yes, sir.
Senseless violence, bro.
Senseless.
Senseless violence, man.
You got
Shreveport. Yeah.
Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Salute, Bodega, Wi-Fi.
Bodega, I gotta send you one of these shirts. Oh, I forgot I moved the shirts. But Bodega, I gotta send you one of these shirts. Hit me up with your P.O. box so I can send you some stuff. Bodega, I've been wanting to send you some stuff for months, bro. Send me DM me your P.O. box so I can send you a bunch of stuff. My bad, Chuck.
No. I was just going to touch on what Savage NY was saying. Yeah, man. A lot of these kids are being raised by their grandmothers and others, and not their mothers and fathers. I don't know how we stop. I don't know how we stop the cycle. But I know something has to be put in place. I propose, well, since there's been this big money grab in the health care system, I think that every high school should, in the inner city, or just in general, but specifically the inner city, should come with one-on-one counseling. Because most of these kids are on Medicaid and welfare and that kind of stuff, so they have insurance. If you're living in the city, if you're living in a major city, if you're living in the United States, since the Affordable Health Care Act, healthcare has been provided by everyone. You can walk into any hospital in New York City, and there's at least 10 tables ready to sign you up for an insurance plan that you can use that day. So I propose that is the first step. Getting folks counseling, right? 2, Uncle Freezy is 1,000% right. Some of these video games, man, and parents got to start being parents again. If it says 14 and older, your 10-year-old shouldn't have it, right? And then if it says 14 and older, you need to check it out yourself.
Right.
Because what they think your 14-year-old can watch may not be aligned with the values and principles that you instilled. You're the parent. That's your child. You gave birth to them. You had to sign that birth certificate at the hospital. You had to pay that hospital bill for that child. So
Right.
it's your responsibility. I hate to see when parents let everyone else, and I'm talking about media when I say everyone else, media and society tell you how to raise your kids,
Or babysit your
but
kids.
or babysit your kids. But then when someone says something in flesh to your child, that's my child. You don't talk to my child like that.
We saw that in this movie we reviewed called Do the Right Thing. You remember
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Remember when the mayor saved the boy from getting run over by the car?
Yes.
The mayor, and I'm sorry y'all but Chuck keep teeing me up. Chuck bring up these good things, man, and it's just like right down. I think that's why we play off each other so well. Like Chuck bring up this thing, the absentee mama,
Mm-hmm.
right, comes up to
Mm-hmm.
save her child from a man that she thinks is trying to hurt her child.
Right.
When given advice, because she was absent, she goes off. Right? She goes off. Right? But if she had been there, there would be no need for the mayor to risk his life to save that boy.
Right.
Or there would not have been the initial meeting. Remember the initial meeting, Chuck? Remember this?
Yes.
Go to the store and get me something. Remember that the
Right.
first time they met during
Yeah.
early
Give
in
me
the day?
give me a quarter bed. Jimmy.
Yeah.
What make Timmy run? We'll make Jimmy run. My name ain't Jimmy. Yeah. That man should have never been sending that boy to the store for no quarter beer. But go ahead.
Yeah. And the thing about and not sending him to sending him to the store thing is not bad. But like what Chuck said, the emphasis is on the quarter beer. Because you're teaching the kid bad habits. Like go to the store and buy some beer. You know what I'm saying? Eventually he's gonna be a grown man going to the store buying. And not that there's something wrong with that, but you don't train somebody that age. You let an adult learn adult habits. You don't teach a kid adult habits. You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing I'm getting at is this, Chuck. The thing I'm getting at is this. There are a lot of safeguards around us. Like YouTube legit is safeguarding us right now, preventing trolls and bullies from jumping in our chats and bullying us and trying to make YouTube a safe place. We take this for granted, and we shouldn't, right? We take it because we could be here right now having this conversation, and bullies can just jump in here, or could have been, because about 4 years ago, this was ridiculous. You couldn't even get on YouTube, right, without being bullied. You know what I'm saying? People just jump in your chat and be like, "Y'all talking that N-word talk, blah blah blah." When such and such, you know what I'm saying? And it's not even that kind of talk, bro. It's human talk.
Right.
It's people talk. Right. You know, and people do it all the time. The Subliminal 209 and Cully did a show last week, and I can't even show the episode because somebody got in their chat and was doing all types of crazy, racist, bullying stuff, right? And these dudes was talking about Tom Thibodeau rotations. Now, mind you, if I had another person talk about Tom Thibodeau rotations, I might have gone off the deep end too. But you should have the right to talk about what you want to talk about as long as you're not disparaging or you're creating a safe environment for people just to have conversations. You feel me? And so there are devices out there to help people. But the thing is we are so comfortable in our safe space that we don't recognize help, right? For one. B, the extremists are pushing the envelope, right? Not just because there are people that are out there that are just mean and bullies. We have devices out there to help us against, people that are mean and bullies. and for the most part, organizations are doing a good job. Like you can't go on Twitter with hate speech no more, right? You can't just go anywhere. You can't go to a lot. You can't go on Facebook and have hate speech. And even if you create 1,000 profiles, these platforms will hunt you down and ban you, right? I know a person that's banned from Twitter and Facebook. A person y'all love to hear them talk about the Knicks. I mean, he banned from a lot of stuff because he put out hate speech and all this stuff and do bullying stuff. Changed his name about 1,000 times. But anyway, my thing is this: we take some of that stuff for granted, but for the extremists now, I think we, as the people that have been protected by these stuff, we need to point out these people. So, because the main thing that bothers me about, and I'm gonna say this, and I really got to get out of here if I want to do the KMD, but the main thing with me that I think is ruined our society is unwritten rules to society. Unwritten rule number one: no snitching. A dude you know, have seen him, been in the bodega beside him. He walked past you. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Uncle Freeze? Hey, what's happening, bro? He go in there and get 2 slices of pizza and a cheap soda, walk out, sell about $50,000 worth of dope on your block, shoot up 2 people. The police be like, Uncle Freeze, did you see anything? Nope, I ain't seen that.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't because of my personal safety. It ain't because of my personal safety. It's because of the no snitch policies in place. Right? Because a lot of these dudes, you better not snitch on me or such and such. Or what?
Time out. Let's get this straight. I'm a snitch if you and I commit a crime and I get caught and then I tell on everyone else. That's snitching. If I'm going to the ATM by myself to get money and you rob me and I tell the police it was the one-armed man and you're that one-armed man, I didn't snitch. I did what I was supposed to do
Snitched.
as a law-abiding citizen.
You snitched.
That's ridiculous. You can't. That's not snitching. That is not snitching. And F Cameron for getting on national TV and saying that stupid shit. And I mean that. If he sees it, fuck him. You can't say that because that's not snitching. Like this dude want to get on TV and say, yeah, if they Mr. Giles, if there was a serial killer next door, would you call the police and tell them? Nah, I would move.
Nah, no snitching. No snitching.
No, that's not snitching. That's not snitching. And the kids who believe that are guys that want you to fall along their traps. I can do whatever I want to do in the hood, right? And never get in trouble for it and hold everybody hostage. That is ridiculous. I ain't going for it. I ain't going for it at all. Because here's the thing. Back in the day, there were men in the neighborhood.
Right.
And then there were guys in the neighborhood. The men in the neighborhood always kept the guys in the neighborhood in check.
Right.
Hey, I ain't in y'all business, but y'all need to take that up the street because this is where these kids play.
Right.
But
there's a lack of that.
There's a lack of that in the neighborhood. So you have these suckers that will manipulate so that they can keep doing stuff. Like why am I not calling the police on you? Right? You know why they didn't call police on certain gangsters back in the day? Because you know what? As much as they were doing dirt, they tried to balance it out by doing good, right?
Right.
But
you know what? Just real quick. And the thing about them, hey, shout out to my main man, Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie, what's good?
Salute, Jay Boogie.
Yeah. And so without snitching, without dry snitching, I was around people that were in the dope game, right? And the people that were in the dope game, bro, back then, I'm talking about in the 70s, they made money, but they didn't try to make all the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They weren't trying to ruin the neighborhood. Right. It's like, yo, if you smoke, come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't like, yo, smoke this, smoke this, smoke this, smoke this, smoke this. Yeah, man, my joint cheaper and better quality and such and such.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like one of my uncles was a dope man. I told Chuck this story one time about when I was a kid. My uncle went in his pocket and pulled out a knot, and one of his small knots hit the ground and ones flew everywhere. And my sisters and brothers and all my cousins and friends, they were scrambling because the wind was blowing. They were scrambling on this corner in Jersey City trying to gather up all the money. And my uncle was like, whatever y'all pick up, y'all can keep it. He picked up the knot and he put it back in his pocket, right? But he was like, Uncle Freezy, no, Uncle Freezy, don't go over there. Here, hold this. And if you can imagine, like, this is like this is late 70s, so I'm like 10 or 11, something like that, right? A 10-year-old with his fist like this full of money, $10,000 in one hand, $10,000 in the other hand. This is like 1977, 78, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm crying. I'm like, hey, I want some money. I want some money too. Meanwhile, I'm holding $10,000 in one hand and $10,000 in the other hand, right? But he wouldn't let me chase the money that was flying because the wind was blowing. All these ones. And so they're picking up money. My sister came to me. She's like, yo, and I don't know what it is about sisters in the 70s, but they love to lick their tongue out. You know what I'm saying? Yo,
Man and a boo-boo.
Yeah, I need an old head. Is there an old head in the chat that had like a sister or a cousin or something like back in the day used to stick their tongue out? You know what I'm saying? Like picking at you. My sister picked up $8, Chuck. $8 in the 70s, bro. That's bread. You know what I'm saying? Chuck, you 7 years old, you got $8 in the 70s. Do you know how much candy you can buy with $8, bro? You could almost buy you a pair of pants back then. Almost. You know what I'm saying? But my uncle, as while this was happening, a dude show up. I'll never forget. He was driving a Mark IV, navy blue Mark IV, had the sky blue interior with the Playboy knobs and the fuzzy dice in the mirror. It had a TV antenna on the back.
Oh yeah.
He pull up and he called my uncle. And he called my uncle's name. And so my uncle like, yo, don't you never say my name no more. And he was like, who you talking to? Like, he was like, you want to live, don't you? And he was like, yo, come here. We ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. So the dude, I walk over there with my uncle. My uncle take one. Like, I got this, me. I got the money. He like, Uncle Freeze, give me such and such. So I take that and he's like, get it. So I give it to my man. And he snatched it. And I'm like, just to tell you how, I think I was born uneven. Right?
Wait a minute.
So the dude snatched the money out of my hand and he was like, and it better all be there looking at me. Like, yo, you know where you at? This is so I'm like 9 or 10 years old. Like, hey man, you know where you at? And he looked at my uncle like, this joker crazy. Yes. So anyway, I have the other 9. I'm trying to hide it from him. He like, what you got over there? I'm like, mind your business. You know what I'm saying? And my uncle is standing right there, like, yeah, that's Uncle Freezy. And I'm like 9, 10. And so they go around the corner to do talk such and such and such. And then my uncle come back. Now, Chuck, mind you, I'm standing on the corner in Jersey City, right? I'm like Carteret and Ocean. I'm standing on the corner of Carteret and Ocean by Vincent's. I got my uncle not in my hand. They go around the corner. I'm standing there. I'm like 9, 10 years old with all my uncle dope money. They go around the corner. The other dude leave first. He peeling out too. He walking fast, hurry up and get in his car like he's scared of something. I don't know what happened. I ain't even ready to speak to that. I don't have the details for that, but whatever. My uncle comes back. He's like, yo, where my money? Right? And I'm like, yo, where my money? You know what I'm saying? This is me being Uncle Freeze. I can't help it. I told you I was born uneven. Like all the marbles are there, but sometimes the marbles be in different places at different times. You know what I'm saying? So because I'm like, yo, where my money? Because my sister and brother them got like $7, $8 from. Remember what I told you about the wind was blowing, the ones around and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All of them, it's like 8 of them. They got money. My uncle ain't even worried about it. They got money. They all together, I think they had like $70, Chuck. They had like $70 between the 8 of them, right?
Wow.
He told me not to chase that money. He told me to hold on to this money and he'll be back. So now he back for the money. I give him the money, right? I got tears in my eyes because legit, I was about to fight my uncle. This is one of my heroes too. Because ain't no way you're gonna tell me to just stay right here, right? Not chase that money that's flying in the wind, but stay here, hold on to this, and then you come get this, and I don't get nothing, right? So he looked at me. He's like, "You want some money, don't you?" No, I was like, "You owe me money. You gave them money." He's like, "I don't owe you nothing." My uncle like, "Boy, I'll slap you in your mouth." And to me, I'm like, "Your slapper must be broke." This is me, right? Right? Because I'm mad. I'm hot. Chuck. I'm hot. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm ready to tell my daddy right now. I'm like, as soon as I leave from up here, I'm ready to go tell my daddy. You know what I'm saying? And my daddy gonna, and this is in my mind, my daddy gonna come up here and put his hands on you for this. You know, everybody got $8 and I ain't got nothing. I'm hot, right? So he take them, he like, it's all here, right? Yeah, it's all here. Don't be questioning me, just Uncle Freezy. I'm like, nah. So he takes the knot, right? Put it in his pocket, go in his other pocket, and he pull out a $20 bill, slap it in my hand. My man, you gonna be something, right? Put it in my hand. So now they got $8, right? They got $8. Mm-hmm. Uncle Freezy got a crispy, old school $20 bill in his hand. I'm like 9 years old, right? I look at him, and he's like, yo, that's enough. I was like, yeah, I'll make it do. On the inside, though, I'm celebrating. Check on the inside. I'm celebrating like a because I got twice as much money as them. But at the same time, I had ever since I was little. You remember how I told you back in the day, like my family would come over, they'd be playing cards, drinking beer, doing all these stuff, and they're like, and I'd be like, hey DJ, I'll take a record and put the 3 nickels on the needle and make sure that, you know what I'm saying, the record don't skip or whatever. Like they'll be like, yo, put on that Confunction. And I go find the Confunction and I find a joint, you know what I'm saying, and let the joint play and put the nickels on the arm. You remember the arm used to come across and go down, and then you stack the 3. You got to stack them perfect. See, you can't do it when you're drunk. No. You got to have, you know what I'm saying, you got to have like some, because you got to have a low hand dude with the needles. And what I used to do, I got smart. When I went to my man Keith's house, my man Keith from across the street, his pops used to do the same thing. Yo, put on that put on that Otis Redding. And what he would do is take 3 nickels and tape them together, like just run one thing of tape, run outside of 3 nickels, put it on the thing, and let it play. And he used to do that so his pops wouldn't be bothering him, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I learned that from. But anyway, the point that I'm getting at is some of us come up in this thing where we start so young, like what you said, like we believe that this is life. Like we don't know that there's a alternate life out there. We don't know what the American dream. I didn't realize the American dream until I was like 35, 36, right? Because the whole time I had been listening to soul and blues and all this stuff, and been in the pool hall when like my pops used to take me to the pool hall. My pops and my 2 uncles used to take me to the pool hall to drive, Chuck. I was 10. They'll go get wasted, and I'll drive them in Jersey City. Yeah, so I drive, and I ain't talking about get on the turnpike or nothing. I'm just talking about, you know what I'm saying, going.
Plus a few corners. Yeah,
I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, coming back from Danfoot down to Carteret, just stay on Ocean, you know what I'm saying, just stop at the red light. Most times I used to run them. I mean, what? You want to get pulled over because there wasn't no police up there. Right. At the time, there wasn't no police up there. Man, listen. But I understand, like, the thing with the Chicago kids and the LA kids and all this stuff, I understand like why they think the way they think, though I don't agree. I wish there was a way that we could reach out to these young people
Right.
that feel like there is no alternative, to let them know that there is an alternative. Every day in life shouldn't be every day you wake up shouldn't be, am I going to live today or am I going to die today?
Right.
Right. Tupac had this song called "Am I Going to Die Tonight?" You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you shouldn't live your life in a "Am I going to die tonight" mindset. Right. And I know there's a lot of people that have been through a lot of different things, and it's not always street life. You know what I'm saying? It's not all street life. Some of it you could be from the country, but if you grow up in a situation with criminal domestic violence, where you see, say, your mom get beat up every day by her boyfriend, right? And you got to come home to that. You got to do your homework while your mom and the third boyfriend in 6 months is beating her in the room, and you in the room trying to do algebra. You like 12. What can you do? You can't fight a grown man, and that grown man and then know that a 12-year-old ain't gonna beat him up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you
Right.
come up with this mindset of brutality and all this stuff, so you think that it's life. And then you talk to your mom like, "Why you let him beat you?" And she's like, "Stay in a child place," or say something stupid that somebody had taught her because she don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? You 12,
Right.
you say you 12, your mama 30. You know what I'm saying? She's like, "Stay in a child place." While meanwhile, she got her lip busted. You know what I'm saying? And all these different type of, you know what I'm saying? So I understand some of these kids growing up in these bad environments, man. Just wish it were a way that we can be a beacon to these people, to let them know that life is not about the stuff that you hear in these rap songs or you see in these movies or you watch on these TV shows about how powerful Black people are reaching levels of monetary success by breaking the law in the streets, as opposed to building up themselves by doing things the real right way. Because some people, like in the game, say this is the right way. Because we don't make the dope, we don't put it on boats and get it here. All we do is sell it on the streets, right? I understand that, but just because somebody over there commits a crime, don't mean it's right for you to commit a crime too. Because the crime, in my opinion, the crime is not breaking the law. Like not the law that says, "Oh, you can't sell certain drugs." The crime is the destruction of your neighborhood and the people around you that you're supposed to love and take care of.
Right.
That's the crime. In my view.
I was raised with people who believed in a sense of community. A lot of us can attest to being growing up, and if Ms. Johnson seen you do something or heard you say something, Ms. Johnson will bust your ass, and you will get a butt cutting from your house all the way from her house all the way home. And then once you got home, you got your butt cut too.
Right.
It was because we were looking out for one another. Everybody knew Sharon had 4 boys and no husband.
Right.
But the men
And
on the block
and 2 jobs.
and 2 jobs. So the men on the block would, "Oh no, he can come with us. Oh no, we going on vacation, girl. Don't worry about that. You ain't got to give us
Right.
no money. They can come
Right.
with us."
Or on the way to the barbershop, you pick up all her boys.
Yep.
That's the type of stuff we missing, Chuck. But
Exactly. Because
every Saturday morning
Mhm.
at 8:10, I'm walking past your house. I shouldn't have to wait on you to get these boys ready for a haircut. Get them. I'm paying for it.
Mhm.
Get them boys ready. Have them on the stoop. All of us gonna walk together. A dude in our neighborhood, Mr. Curtis, used to do that, right? He be walking his 2 sons to the barbershop.
Mhm.
And if your sons was outside and ready, He would take your sons to the barbershop and pay for their haircut. Guess what happened to Mr. Curtis? A crackhead murdered him, mugged him, and killed him. We was 13, Chuck. Murdered him. Right? Dude, man, listen. Chuck, fix your stuff. And so this is this, y'all, this is the time before people actually had money to buy disposable stuff. But if your toaster was broke, hey, take it up to Mr. Curtis, man. Mr. Curtis will look at it. If your heater was broke, take it up to Mr. Curtis. Now he was slow.
Right.
Don't be hungry. Don't be hungry when you take your toaster up there, because you're just gonna be hungry as hell. But
right.
But he would look at it and fix it. Oh, you know, the burner coil is disconnected, man. I think it took some such that he'd be trying to explain that. I don't care. I just want toast. Somebody on the way back from the laundromat. On the way back from the laundromat, my man had, you know how you have your quarters. You know, sometimes the dryers be great, sometimes they don't. You don't know what day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Murder Mr. Curtis on Armstrong.
Damn.
Right. Everybody's sad. Right. Iceman out there talking to everybody like, hey man, see, y'all need to do such and man. We got to put it. Iceman was the first dude, man, and this is the 70s. Iceman was a part of the Nation of Islam, right? And I ain't gonna lie to you, Chuck. They used to scare me. Like the Nation of Islam dudes used to scare me because they was different from the people that I knew, like the men that I knew. Like all I knew was basically as a shorty, all I knew was my uncles and them, right? And my uncles and them was, Chuck, you know how you got your family. They halfway in the church, halfway in the bar. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They go to
Yes,
church
sir.
on all the big events. Like at Easter, they got the flyer suit on.
Yeah.
But the Sunday after Easter, they in the bed sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hangover. Like they were like, oh man, I love the Lord. I love to hear Pastor such and such preach. You know what I'm saying? Pastor such and such preach. They'll go, or they go to a random afternoon service. But they probably go to church maybe one Sunday a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless when they friends die, when they friends people that then they go to the funeral or whatever, and go to the wake or something.
Yeah.
But Iceman and them was like, yo, you can't just be a good person on such and such day. You got to be a good person every day. Right?
Absolutely.
And Iceman used to scare me because Iceman probably was about 6 foot, probably about 200 pounds. So he was huge to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the dude he used to be the stick up kid, right? In and out of the clink, in and out of the clink, in and out of the clink. He get with a good woman, church going woman. He, you know what I'm saying, he convert, you know what I'm saying, he trying to convert her. She won't do it because her people from North Carolina, somewhere, you know what I'm saying, old country girl, you know what I'm saying? And he from the city. You know the story, Chuck. You know the story.
We ain't Muslim girl. We ain't raised you to be no Muslim.
Right. Even though he telling her to do all the right things, take care of yourself. You don't have to show off all your body. You ain't gotta beg nobody for nothing. You know, you can grow stuff in your backyard. All this stuff he's saying to her is right. Mr. Curtis get murdered, and I saw Iceman cry. Iceman didn't like Mr. Curtis, right? But he loved what he stood for.
Right.
He didn't like Mr. Curtis. Mr. Curtis was different. Mr. Curtis was the, Christianity. Like, what is this other religion? What is Islam? What is that anyway? He was that dude, right?
Right.
But it's not like he didn't dislike Iceman. He just like,
he didn't understand him.
I don't understand all that. Yeah, exactly. And so Iceman didn't like him because, he basically talked trash about my man's belief, but they were both good men. Mr. Curtis get killed. And then another young dude, and it's sad, a young dude like stepping up in Mr. Curtis' place, a dude named Born Supreme. And I tell this story all the time. Born Supreme was a dude like Uncle Freezy. They out here with that to go in the house and do your homework. You ain't gonna. You're not a street dude. This life ain't for you. You got a mom and daddy living together, man. You got a family. Go in the house. But I'm like, yo, but such and such son. You know what I'm saying? He coming over here with, and this is, I'm like 7. I'm like 7 years old. Like, man, nah, man, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Such and such come over here, you know what I mean? Trying to be,
trying to be tough. Right.
Yeah. And he's like, Uncle Freezy, go in the house or I'm gonna punch you in your throat. You ain't gonna punch me in the throat, but you know what I'm saying? You lucky Shazam on. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go in the house and watch some Shazam. I'm gonna go in the house and watch the Hardy Boys Mystery, you know. so man, but anyway, Born Supreme was kind of like our mentor. Like anytime the block got hot with something, like y'all go in the house. Or Iceman down the street, they giving away crabs. Go down the street to get y'all a couple of crabs. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He took care of us, right? By the time I got old enough to talk to him on that level, I was like maybe 12 or 13. A dude jumps out of a Lincoln Continental, black Lincoln Continental, right? Calls his name. He turned around, the dude shoots him right in the head, right? Shoots him in the head, right in front of us. My little brother was right there, right beside me. The one that I told you passed away from, you know, he had the cardiac event, he passed away. My little brother was right there. My sister starts screaming. The dude looks at us, right? Wipes the gun off and put it back in his coat. Goes in my man's pocket, takes whatever out of his pocket, get in the car. And guess what we do, Chuck? Nobody call an ambulance. Nobody do nothing. Girls is out there screaming. Dudes is like, oh man, look what they did to Born Supreme. And you know what I'm saying? Right there in front of us. And eventually, somebody with some common sense calls the ambulance. And then, you know, the ambulance come, they show up right on time about an hour later. Meanwhile, my man laying down there on the thing just, and so these are the type of things that we saw. And so when you mentioned, like when somebody in the chat said the senseless violence, like somebody, like all these people died in Chicago and all that stuff.
Yes.
Bro, these hoods and stuff, this is like life, what life is like in these major cities. And this is in Jersey City, this stuff was happening to me. So I can imagine if you're from a place like Queens, New York. If you like from Queensbridge or something. You from places like that. Or you from the South Bronx. You from East New York. You from North Philly. You know what I'm saying? You from Shreveport, Louisiana. You from Little Rock, Arkansas. You from Compton, California. You from East Los Angeles, California. You from Portland, Oregon. I can imagine what these kids are going through. And I feel for you.
Mm-hmm.
For real. Like my heart goes out to these people because you shouldn't see stuff like this as a kid. For one, because the impact of it will never go away.
Nope.
Right? Right. The impact of it will never go away. 2, this life gets entrenched in you as you go forward in life. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to get away. Like, Chuck, about 15 years ago, my kids were in the yard with the puppy, right? And they were blowing bubbles. And it was like butterflies everywhere, right? And you can hear like the birds and stuff like calling to each other, right? And on my street, there's like no cars coming, no nothing, right? And my kids were out there laughing and giggling and having the time of their life, right? Right. And with my stupidness, I'm like, yo, something about this ain't right. And so I'm like, y'all out here with all that damn laughing and shit. What the hell going on? And my wife is like, yo, what the hell wrong with you? And I'm like, they out here laughing and having a good time and puppies and butterflies and shit. You know what I'm saying? Bubbles and squirrels running. And my wife's like, hey man, what's wrong with you? The kids look at me like I'm crazy. And guess what, Chuck? I was crazy. And my wife talked to me about, like, listen, this ain't 1977 and this ain't Jersey City, New Jersey. Them kids ain't got to go through that bullshit you went through.
Right.
Let them live their life. Let them have a good life. Right? Why you gotta keep telling them about how hard it is for you when you was growing up? They don't need that. Let them be their own people. Let
You
them live.
you take that trauma to a psychiatrist and get yourself some help.
And leave it.
Yeah,
Take it to the psychiatrist and leave it there.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because I know there are people in this chat. There are people in this chat and people that watch this video, right? That will say things like, "Yeah, man, I've been through that. I remember such and such and such." Yeah, man. And listen, I feel for y'all, man. I think what we should do as people, and not just black people, and not just poor people, right? And not just veterans, and not just people with disabilities like myself, right? Not with
right.
people, not with people who didn't. We should all embrace safety
Yes,
of
sir.
the future, right?
Yes, sir.
Safety of the future, and not just the physical safety, but the emotional safety and well-being, the mental safety and well-being. This young generation should feel like they're in a safe place to be who they are, right? And we should encourage them. We should encourage them to recognize signs of danger, no matter how light they feel like the danger is, right? Any danger is imminent and dangerous danger.
Yes.
Any danger, right? You don't want your baby, you don't want your daughters to feel like they can't go outside or somebody's going to do something to hurt them. You got to remove that danger. You got to remove that threat, right? You don't want your teenage boys to feel like if they don't join up with a crew, if they are loners by nature, but if they don't join up with a crew, that crew that they turn down is going to do something to them. You don't want them to feel that way, right? You don't want them to feel that way. It's the reason why a lot of dudes click up with crews and stuff. Because if you a loner, if you by yourself, like if you just naturally a loner, and dudes are clicked up out here, they look at you as a threat, and you look at them as a threat. But why? Why?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Why?
Right. Yeah, man. Hey Chuck, I gotta get out of here, bro. I hate that I got. Why you always pull out the soapbox for me to stand on, bro?
Man, this conversation, man. To be honest, man, we had to have it because I was having this mental conversation with myself last night and early this morning. Just like where do we go from here? We how do we fix this? Because this is um I know they're going to paint this. People are going to paint this, black and white and da 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 da. Da, but it's people with mental issues and a society that pushes, violent imageries and adult situations on children whose minds aren't ready to handle this kind of stuff,
Right.
right? And we aren't giving them any types of outlet to express their frustrations and we sweep certain things under the rug based on based on ethnicity and where you're from, right?
Right.
Oh, this is not a problem. Oh no, he was just venting. No, writing a letter talking about murder suicide at your graduation should have been an automatic red flag. You
Right.
should have done more than a 30-day evaluation. Someone should have been tasked with following this person or
Right.
keeping an eye out for this person. Um, because that
Right.
brings me back to the kid, the young minority kid who mentioned gun. He just said gun,
Right.
and he was arrested immediately. A child for saying it. So
Right.
I think that we have to um, really, really, really look each other in the eye and have these conversations and talk and talk it out, because we have to find a solution. We have to find a solution for the violence that is occurring in cities like Chicago, in New York, in Detroit, and California, and et cetera, and et cetera. We also have to have these conversations about, these mass shootings, right?
Right.
That we romanticize every day,
Right.
and spark an idea in someone else who will go out and do the same thing,
Right.
right? There's something wrong here, and we have to address it. So I felt like it would be robbery not to talk about it, just
Right.
just for a little bit. If it was too heavy of a conversation for Vibrant Ones this morning, I apologize, but gentlemen, I promise you, it's a conversation that we have to have, especially men. We have to have these conversations because we got to think about the babies. We got to think about our neighborhoods. I know some of us, or some of you, have adult children, and you've said, hey, my duties as a parent is done. But hey, that's true and not true, because there are other babies out there that need help. Yours might be grown and doing their own thing and raising your grandchildren, but there's a young man out there that can use your word of wisdom. That can use a little bit of guidance that I might change a whole generation. You know what I mean? Like, and when I say generation, you might change, Slugger's mentality, and then guess what? Everybody that knew Slugger, stop calling him Slugger. Now they call him by his name, James. And now
Right.
James has changed and transformed the minds of everyone else in the hood. I'm like, man, if Slugger can change, then I can change, and this neighborhood could be better than what it is.
Right.
Y- You know, so I'm glad that we at least started this conversation, man. And I appreciate everyone that chimed in. Unc, being on the soapbox and sharing your wisdom, man, that's why I just sit back and listen, because sometimes you have to listen. It can't always be this, especially when I don't have as much life experience as you. So when you talk, I listen because I learned something. And I hope everyone out there, all you vibrant ones, you learned something. And what you learned today, what you picked up today, make sure you pass it on. I say every day, man, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend who's going to tell a friend. But make sure you took what you heard today, uh, and you pass it on, and you don't just take it as idle conversation. Yo,
Right.
there is absolutely a war going on outside. Nobody is safe from it. Whether
Right.
you're in the hood, or you're in the desert, or you're in the suburbs, there's a spirit of destruction coming for the young, and we got to stop it. We
Right.
got to stop it by any means necessary. So I want to thank everybody for coming through. um, I appreciate everybody for coming. We'll be back here tomorrow. Uh, you
Word.
know what? Yes, we'll be back here tomorrow, 8 a.m. to about 9 a.m. ish. Uh, Make sure you tell someone to come through. If this is your first time, make sure you hit the subscribe and the like button. Make sure you hit all the notifications so that when Unc uploads or we go live, you'll know and you can come kick it with us. Um, I hope everyone has a great day. Um, I hope everyone pass on some love, man. Let today be the love day, man, because man, so much drama out there in these streets. So much drama in the world. Uh, just share some love to somebody who's out there, man. Um, uh, until tomorrow, everyone, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.